Hi guys, I'm going to show you how to make a cool spring art project. It's a collage, comes out really pretty, and you can make it in a lot of different ways. But I'm going to show you how to make flowers in a vase. And I use black paper for the background, but you can use a different color or whatever you have. Doesn't really matter. And your first step in this is going to be to find green for the leaves and the stems. All of these pieces are cut from magazines for this particular one, but if you don't have magazines, then you can use things that you might find in your recycling that have bright colors on them. So any kind of packaging usually has some really bright colors on it. Right? So you can save some things and then you'll be ready to go. You're going to need scissors and glue. It can be a glue stick, doesn't have to be a bottle of glue. And you might want a cup of coffee, okay? And you are going to start by, I'm going to put this one here so you can kind of see it. I'm just going to show you one flower, and then you could make a vase of flowers, right? It's a fun project for spring, for a gift for somebody, to mail them a cool note and something to hang in their house. So if I'm going to do, I know I have to do stems and leaves, then they need to be green, or they won't look like flowers. So the way I do it, is when you're looking through the magazines, you're searching for colors, not pictures. You're not trying to find pictures of leaves or stems. You're trying to find the color green. So I kind of flip with my thumb until I see green. Boop, there's green. Tear out that page. Okay. And I'm going to cut a stem from that. Now stems are thin and they're not perfectly straight. Right? So I'm going to curve my my line just a little bit. If you want to draw it on there first, you know, with a pencil or whatever, and then follow that line, that can work. Works fine. Okay. Or just wing it. Alright. So this is going to be my stem. I have a stem. I'm going to cut some leaves. Oops, cut through 2 pages. Cut some, that's a pretty orange though, I might use that. When you're doing leaves, you can do a couple different, I'll show you, a couple different shapes. So leaves can be shapes like this, like a football, right? Or they could be round. Not leaves, I'm sorry, leaves will be this color. But petals can also be any of these shapes, right? So for leaves, I usually do the football shape. But when I go to do my flowers, I can pick from a lot of different shapes. Flowers typically have 5 petals. And so you're going to want to, you know, decide this is also another shape you might want to use. For the petals, you can pick any shape. So if I wanted to, I could make my football shape on this green like this and draw it. And these are my leaves. Okay. And then when I cut it, I also could fold the paper and cut more than one at a time. Right? I want to cut off my black line though, because if it shows, it's not as pretty. Alright, so I can cut around those. Alright, so I'm just going to put 2 leaves on there. Alright, and I'm going to actually glue my stem down already. Okay, but I'm putting it kind of in the middle of the paper because I need space for my vase down here and I need space for my flower up here. So I'm going to put my leaves on. And some leaves look kind of like grass, like a stem themselves, so they don't have to be exactly like that. They can look a little different. Okay, so next I want to figure out what do I want to do for a vase. And again, you're not looking for a picture of a vase. You're trying to find a cool, bright color for the vase. And you want the vase to show up really well. So if you're using black paper, you wouldn't pick black for the vase because it just won't show up when you glue it down. Or if you pick dark purple or dark blue, it's not going to show up. So you need a bright, bright color. So I'm just going to search for a bright color that might have an interesting pattern in it. Kind of interesting. blue's pretty. I'm going to pick a, or you can even use the white words of the paper. Let's see here. There's some more green. Oop, flowers. But we're not cutting flowers. Or pictures of flowers. Oop, I like his shirt. Okay, so I'm going to try to cut a vase out of this kid's shirt because it's got bright yellow stripes on it. Alright, so I'm going to use this collar as the top of the vase, and then I'm just going to make kind of a bowl shape coming down. Alright, so if I cut this off, so it's going to be kind of a small vase for this one. Cut this out. And the vase, I want it to look kind of round. I'm going to kind of round the bottom because I want it to look round. I'm going to put it like this, okay? And my stem, I want my flower to look like it's in it, so I have to make sure my stem's coming out of the vase. It's almost like a pumpkin. All right. Now I am going to pick a very bright color for my petals. And typically, the petals of the flower, here's a nice bright red. Petals of the flower are going to be, remember they can be any of these shapes similar to leaves. They could be the same shape as a leaf, like a football shape, or just round, or almost like a triangle shape, or really thin, skinny football, right? Typically at least 5 petals, and you want, again, it to be a very bright color that will show up on black if you're using black. So I'm going to cut 5 petals, like so. And if you try, in the magazine, you really have to ignore, you're going to see pictures, if you're looking through a magazine, you're probably going to find pictures of a flower. Don't cut out a flower. Make your own flower. And put the petals together. Okay, so I have 5 petals cut out. I'm going to glue them around so they're all coming from the center. Okay, so put some glue down. It actually works better when you're using glue to put the glue on the background paper, not on the petal. Don't try to do that because it gets too hard, especially with a glue stick, to not ruin your piece of paper. So, there's my 5 petals, right? Now I'm going to pick a totally different color that will show up for the center of my flower. And let's see here. Oops. Could do like there's some yellow. Right. So I'm going to cut from this yellow, I'm going to cut a circle. Make it as big as you want. Alright, I'm going to put some glue on the middle. Stick my center of my flower down. And then I have a flower like that, right? I can do another flower. I could have it drooping over because I have a lot of space over here. I can also do just cut out green, kind of long greenery. My vase can be long and thin, or it can be big and fat. I can cut out different shapes. Here's some shapes for vases. Vases can be like, they can be like this, like that at the bottom, right? Or they could just be a simple cylinder like this, and it would be curved at the bottom and have your vase, have your flowers in it. Or it could be a big bowl shape, right? So be creative and have fun with it. One more thing, when you cut the greens, you want it to be a bright green, not a real dark green, or it won't show up on black if you're using black. And I think that, like, even this flower, it would show up on white paper too. It doesn't have to be black paper on the background. When you're through, you find something that you're going to write your name with, and your name as an artist goes at the bottom corner. And that's it. Have fun with it.